But if he cannot, he who conferred the benefit ought not to think it fit that he should be recompensed, so that if possible retribution is to be made. In the beginning, however, it is requisite, when a benefit is offered, to consider by whom it is offered, and with what view, so as either to accept or refuse it. But it may be doubted, whether retribution is to be measured by the advantage of him who receives it, or by the beneficence of him who made it. For those who receive it say in extenuation, that they receive such things from benefactors as are of little use to them, and which they might have received from others. But on the contrary, the benefactors say, that they bestow the greatest things which it was in their power to give, and which could not be obtained from others, and that they conferred them in dangerous circumstances, or such like necessities. Since, therefore, this friendship subsists on account of utility, the measure of it is the advantage of him who is benefited. For he is the person who is in want, and his friend assists him, in order that he may receive an equal benefit in return. The assistance, therefore, afforded by him who is benefited will be as great as that which he received, and as much or even more must be given by him in return, for it is more beautiful and becoming. But in those friendships which are founded in virtue, there are no accusations, and the deliberate choice of him who benefits resembles a measure, for the authority of virtue and manners consists in deliberate choice. CHAPTER XIV. Dissensions, however, take place in those friendships which subsist according to transcendency. For each thinks it fit that he should have more than the other. But when this takes place, the friendship is dissolved. For the better character of the two thinks it is proper that he should have more than the other. For more ought to be distributed to a good man. This is also the case with him who is the more useful person of the two. For they say it is not fit that he who is useless should have an equal portion with him who is useful, since ministrant offices will take place, and not friendship, unless what is done from friendship is according to the desert of the deeds. For they are of opinion, that as in pecuniary negotiations, those who employ a greater sum of money receive more profit, thus also it ought to be in friendship. The contrary, however, is the opinion of him who is indigent, and who is the worse character. For these think that it is the province of a good friend to assist those that are in want. For what advantage, say they, is there in being the friend of a worthy or powerful man, if no benefit is to be derived from him? It seems, however, that each thinks rightly, and that it is requisite to distribute more to each from friendship. Yet not of the same thing, but more of honour indeed to him who transcends, but more of gain to him who is indigent. For honour, indeed, is the reward of virtue and beneficence, but gain is the auxiliary of indigence. This also appears to be the case in polities, for he is not honoured who is the cause of no good to the community, since that which is common is given to him who benefits the community. But honour is something common. For it is not possible for a man at one and the same time to be enriched and honoured by the community, since no one endures to have less in all things. Hence to him who is inferior in wealth honour is given, but money to him who is to be bribed by gifts. For distribution according to desert equalizes and preserves friendship, as we have before observed. In this manner, therefore, it is requisite to act towards those who are unequal. And he who is benefited, either in wealth or in virtue, should remunerate him by whom he is benefited with honour, thus recompensing him as far as he is able. For friendship requires that which is possible, and not that which is according to desert. For a recompense according to desert is not possible in all things, as in honours conferred on the gods and parents, since no one can bestow these according to desert. But he who pays homage to them to the utmost of his power appears to be a worthy man. Hence, though it would seem not to be lawful for a son to abandon his father, yet it is lawful for a father to abandon his son. For a return ought to be made by him who is a debtor, but a son can do nothing worthy of the benefits he has received from his father, so that he will always be his debtor. Those, however, to whom others are indebted, have the power of abandoning their debtors, and, therefore, a father has this power. At the same time, however, no father perhaps will abandon his son, unless the son is transcendently depraved. For, exclusive of natural friendship, it is human not to refuse giving assistance when it is wanted. But if the son is depraved, he is either to be avoided by his father, or his father must not be anxious to assist him. A depraved son, however, sometimes hates his father, or at least does not very much endeavour to assist him. For the multitude wish to be benefited, but they avoid acting beneficently, as a useless thing. And thus much concerning these particulars. End of Book 8. Recording in memory of Mitchell Edwards.